here it is, summertime. It's my busiest time of year. And, you know, it's busiest time of year because it's prime time tarpon season. Tarpon season is a lot of things for a lot of different people, but the window for me is really kind of the start of the migration. You know, we have our local resident tarpon that come from Charlotte Harbor, and then we have the migratory species of tarpon that come up the beaches, typically from the Keys. So that window, if somebody was to say, what is tarpon season? It's really kind of that late March to mid-July. That's kind of like the peak, if you were to say, but we catch tarpon from sometimes late February all the way through sometimes even October. My tarpon season really consists of many days on the water that are running doubles. When I say daylight to dark, I'm talking 2.5 hours before daylight and sometimes 3 or 4 hours past dark. So I guess what that means is there's not a lot of window that I can go fun fish. And when that opportunity presents itself, honestly, there's no better person I can think of than bring my wife Amy to come fishing because she absolutely digs it. Well, this afternoon, we actually have a decent afternoon without any crazy storms.
Showers?
I mean, we're in the summertime, and normally the last 4 nights have been pretty sporty. But I feel pretty fortunate right now. Hopefully the tarpon want to cooperate. So.
All right, you want me to take this one up front?
Yeah, go ahead and take that one up front. We'll be on the ready. We'll get the trolling motor on and powered up. And I'll get in the lookout station, see if we can find one.
All right, sounds good.
Tarpon has become my favorite, and for a lot of different reasons. The first reason is it was the very first fish I caught in Charlotte Harbor. When I first moved down here, I had no idea what I was doing. I was that guy that was anchored up under the bridge using, 4000 series combos, and I saw a giant fish come launching out of the water that happened to be attached to my rod and reel. I was definitely undergunned, but from that moment on, that's what locked me in.
Hey, babe.
Yeah.
Will they be stirring up the sand?
Well, late in the evening, they tend to rise on the surface because there's no boat pressure.
Okay.
They don't have much care in the world, so I'm hoping we see them daisy chain on the surface.
Okay.
And I actually like a little bit of a chop we have. When it's flat calm, sometimes they can get extra spooky.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that we see them just a big dark patch from a distance from the tower I can see, and then as we get close, fins and backs out of the water. That would be exactly what we're looking for, but okay. We'll see if we can make it happen. Before, you've seen them like where they're just mudding on the bottom.
Yeah, the mud.
And barely showing.
Right.
I'm hoping today's a full show.
Yeah, when it's a little choppy though, it's difficult for me to see their fins and backs.
Yeah, so. No, I get that, but I'm hoping from here I can see them at a distance so we can just creep up on them.
Okay.
And we'll have the wind to our back, cast to them. Now remember too, if they're daisy chaining, most generally they'll daisy chain the counterclockwise. So you want to throw the crab at about, say, 7 o'clock.
Right.
9 o'clock to 7 o'clock. So when they're coming around, that crab drifts into them, and then that tarpon sees that crab, and it's like, well, I might as well. It's just right there hanging in front of me. They don't even have to get out of line. They just grab it and go. I don't know what it is, but when, Amy gets on the boat with me and we're going tarpon fishing, there's a really good chance she's gonna be the one that's fighting the fish. She just has the knack for putting it where it needs to be. She knows and understands the placement of where the bait needs to be, how to control, floating that crab with a cork back to the fish. She knows the program. everybody has their own ways, their own rules that they live by, and she only knows one way, and it's a way that, you know, she's practiced. We fished together many, many times, so she's gonna catch fish. All right, we got tarpon at, call it 10 o'clock, 60 yards. So I'm gonna turn the boat here in a second, and
Okay.
so they'll be in front of us. Yep, go. Yep.
Oh, I see him on the other side.
Yeah.
Oh, and looks like they're swimming towards my crab.
See how they're just barely tipping the surface? That's normally a good sign.
Okay.
And you know they got eyeballs the size of $50. They ought to be able to see that crab sitting there.
They should. Oh, oh.
Reel.
Fish,
Reel, we're on.
We're on.
We're on. Get ready to bow if he comes up.
I know. Oh, he just went straight down.
Yeah, he don't want to come up.
Ouch.
All right, let me get mine out of the way.
Yes, please.
Now he's gonna realize he's hooked.
That is the best sound.
Oh, there he is.
Nice.
Yeah, I love the fact that she's got one on,
And
I got my bait right in the middle of them. Not saying we're looking for a double, but we might try for a double.
I'm okay with that.
She's clearly under control right there.
I am. I got it.
Putting some heat to it, I see.
Yep. He's just swimming out, though.
All right, we got a little wave action here.
I know. I'm used to that. I'm okay with that.
Remember, you want to pull right down his back.
Yes.
All right, I'm coming down.
Okay, I see him.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Great jump.
I would agree.
That never gets old. Go underneath, down low, down low.
Hold on. Just a second.
Lift.
I
There
know.
you go. We're clear to the trolling motor.
I was kind of stuck. My flip-flops got wet. Because he's a captain, he gets in captain mode and then starts telling me how to do things when I already know how. You know, having her on the boats, yeah, it's a little ribbon here and there. We give each other a little heat sometimes, but it's all in fun, of course, and you know that's the big part of it is you got to keep it fun. We catch a lot of fish, and it's a great time out of the water. All right, he's gonna jump.
Oh yes! Oh.
Okay.
All right, that should have done him right there.
What side do you want him?
We'll go this side if you can get him to me.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah. Having the fish boat side now becomes real work for not the angler. The angler's already done his or her job. It really becomes now the captain's job. And just when you think that they're wore out, they're done, they're ready to be a little face grab on it, the moment you touch that bottom lip, they freak out. I don't know what it is. They could be completely worn out, but they don't want to have their bottom lip touched. Simple as that. You know, one thing that I learned over the almost 18 years now is, you know, put your fingers in his bottom lip, base your thumbs together on the outside and elbows out, and kind of keep his head in the water. You know, it's going to do a couple things. One, it's going to give you better control. Two, it's going to keep him from jumping up and smack you in the face, which I would imagine, based on what I've seen from others, is that's nothing short of getting hit by a 2x4.
So when you actually get your hands on the tarpon and just having it there at the side, it's an achievement that you've done. And it's just an overwhelming thrill that you have this big fish there beside the boat and you were able to get it there. So that is such a thrill.
One of the key things about tarpon fishing, when you're going, you got to have the proper gear. The biggest thing that people have happened to them is they hook a tarpon when they're not really prepared for it. Maybe on a 3000 or 4000 series reel, and it's basically over before it started. When I show up to fish for tarpon, I want to make sure we have the proper gear and something that's going to be able to really put some maximum heat on those fish to be able to get them boat side in a relatively short period of time. The biggest thing is you got to have a strong rod and then a reel that has some maximum drag on it. This is the new Saragossa 8000 and this is the Terramar West Coast. This is an 8-foot rod, but I have a 50-pound Power Pro Super Slick on it, which allows me to make those long casts still on the beach with a small crab that's going to be on this hook here. The key is once you come tight on the fish to be able to put maximum amount of pressure on this rod to absorb a lot of that pull, and then be able to have some stopping power with the reel. Primarily when I'm using live baits, I'm using an 8000 series reel, and that's just because I want to be able to have the maximum amount of drag on them, and I could be in a school of fish of 50 or 60 fish, so I want to be able to really be able to pull that fish away from the school instead of chasing him through. Finish off with a piece of fluorocarbon here, and this fluorocarbon I have it about say 10 feet or so, and I keep my cork. You see we use a lot of corks with the crab. That cork is about say 3.5, 4 feet from the hook. I use the cork typically because I want to make sure that we're not dragging the crab. So for me, it's an easy indicator to tell if I see the cork itself making a little bit of a wake, I know that we need to open the bail and make it free line a little bit more. If I see the cork is just laying flat, that's perfect case scenario. That means that crab is doing all the work. As it's drifting through those tarpon, you don't want the crab to be pulled in a certain direction. You want it to be drifting through very naturally. And of course the cork is going to keep that crab right in the strike zone, so those tarpon that have eyeballs that big around can certainly see it. Without question, this is the gear you need to have. You know, it worked for us. Obviously, my wife was a big fan of it. She got those fish to the boat quickly. So Saragossa SW, it's an incredible reel. Paired up with a strong 8-foot rod, and you too can catch them on the beach.